All right, well, it's that time again. Let's watch some Wild Bill for America. I've got a trifecta of Wild Bill content, and let's see what he's got to say. This first one is when Christianity becomes a crime. Oh.
I was having coffee with 3 friends a few days ago, and I said, I think 2023 is going to be a better year for all of us.
Okay.
Well, in some ways it will, but I look out across the USA and I see a very dark shadow of wickedness overcoming this nation.
Oh.
In 2023,
Climate change? Probably not.
we may well see the Christian faith become illegal in America.
What? How? How? And when? And how? I mean, like, we have never had anything but Christian presidents. Christianity is the overwhelming demographic of religion for all of our politicians. Like, how in the world? Yeah. Take me through the steps. I need to know, what are the steps going to be to making Christianity illegal when almost every single one of our elected officials would then have their religion illegalized? Like, how? Just how?
When we speak truth about God's model of marriage and sexuality,
God does not have a model of marriage or sexuality. There are conflicting messages in the Bible about both those things. And also, if you're talking about sexuality, I'm pretty sure right now you're wearing something that's polycotton blend. And there's a passage right before the passage about man shall not lay with another man. And it's man shall not wear clothing of 2 different types of cloth. And it's in the same fucking area of rules. So if you wear a polycotton blend, you might as well just go pound some fellow man butt, because it's on the same spectrum of offense. Like, it's so ridiculous.
as ordained by God, the LGBT rage and say that our words are violence.
That's kind of an old trope that isn't really repeated as much these days. And honestly, I hear more of the like words are violence kind of thing coming from the right these days than the left. I feel like he's maybe caught a little bit in 2016, 2017 brain rot.
Christians who dare proclaim biblical truth are now labeled as violent people, criminals. Speaking truth is now an act of violence.
Or they're just calling you a jerk, and you're mad because they're calling you a jerk.
How long before criminal penalties are applied? There are rumblings across the land of pending legislation to seize children from parents who try to protect their children from drag queens and transgenderism.
That is not even remotely true. That has not existed. There are no laws to take away kids because the parents don't let them go to an elective drag queen story hour. That is insane.
Good parenting is now considered child abuse, a crime. The mark of the beast is coming closer every day. Banks are in talks with government officials to punish customers who violate community standards. Social media has been doing...
What are you talking about? Has that ever happened ever? Like, the only time anybody gets their assets seized is when they're, like, colluding with foreign aggressors. Like, what? What? Is Ron DeSantis to blame for the latest wave of hysteria about drag queens? He has a lot to do with it. Yeah, he absolutely has a lot to do with it. Yeah, 100%.
Doing that to Christians for years. We are getting very close to the days when you may suddenly find your bank account frozen because you posted something on social media that evil men didn't like.
Yeah, that's not a thing, and it's not happening. I'm sorry. No, that's completely ridiculous. Yeah, and no, Tomo's right. The opposite is happening. There are states working to ban drag queen story hours. Yeah, 100%. because that kind of speech should be illegal.
The Bible tells us that if you are a follower of Jesus Christ, you will be persecuted. And we here in the USA are about to get our first real taste of persecution. And I fear that the Christian church is not ready for it.
Christians have been persecuted in the United States before. It depends on what variety of Christianity you're talking about. Early Americas, there were. I was recently reading up on this. Evangelists were very much opposed by the Protestants. Baptists for a while were made to feel very unwelcome. I mean, it goes back and forward, you know. But the groups most likely to persecute a group of Christians are other Christians. That's how it's always been. Like
The Bible also tells us that in the last days there will be a great falling away from the Christian church. We are seeing that as so-called Christian churches and entire denominations are abandoning the faith and turning to embrace the LGBT.
There's nothing wrong with being Christian and being supportive of your fellow human beings that happen to be LGBT.
The spirits of Sodom and Gomorrah are back with a vengeance, and it is the spirits of Sodom and Gomorrah that will lead the charge to exterminate the Christian church in America. Oh, how can God allow this to happen here?
That's a good question. If God is all powerful, how is He not protecting the Christians that you believe are being abused? Yeah, that's a strange one.
Tell you how. God is allowing this wickedness to sweep the USA because He has finally handed the USA over for judgment for our national sins.
What a dick.
Abortion and homosexuality being the top two. John Calvin said that when God wants to judge a nation, He gives them wicked rulers.
Sounds like God is a dick. That's very strange.
And that is exactly where we are in America today. So, what are we to do? First, know this. It is an honor for God to have chosen you to be here for a time such as this. God is faithful, and no matter what comes, He will see us through to the end.
Except He's just causing you undue suffering because lols, it's hilarious, lols, whatever.
Fast and pray in the Spirit.
Yeah.
When the wolves come, the safest place to be is close to the shepherd. And remember the words of John MacArthur. He said, "Listen, the only time the church has made any spiritual impact on the world is when the church has stood firm, uncompromising, unwavering, and boldly proclaimed truth right into the face of the enemy."
That's not true. The church has made, I would say, quite a lot of spiritual impact by the oppression, abuse, forced conversion of many countries and cultures, and all right. So that was video number 1. It was dumb, very dumb. So let's go to video number 2. Wow, he is looking scuffed. He moved from his Harley to the pool at his retirement center. Okay. All right.
The new millennium is upon us, and if you're a Christian man or woman, there is no place for you to hide. But that is what many in the church are trying to do. They faithfully attend Sunday service and probably a midweek Bible study, but they never...
Hey man, whatever floats your boat. If that's what you like to do with your free time, go for it.
...ever engage the society around them as ambassadors of Christ. Christians in America have been collectively demonized by the enemies of God. The entire education system, entertainment, and the government have worked long and hard to paint Christians as ignorant, bigoted, phobic dummies.
No. It's very easy for people who are not Christian to kind of get a bad taste in their mouth about Christianity because of people like Wild Bill, or because of people like the 700 Club, or proselytizing politicians that weaponize their faith to abuse other people. Like, that's why people get a bad taste in their mouth about Christianity. It's because of the behavior of bad Christians that are loud and have, like, a lot of social, political power. Vast majority of people who are Christian are fine. They're fine. And even if they don't necessarily, like, hold the same type of social and, values that I do, they're probably just keeping it to themselves and just living their lives and, like, in peace, So that's why, like, I don't have a problem with Christians. I have a problem with loud ass whole Christians, right? So, like, and that's the problem. That's really the problem, is it's not really about the faith, it's about behavior. It's about people being judgy and cruel and mean,
Who are way behind the times and woefully ignorant. Now, these lies and slanders have intimidated many Christians into silence. They know the commandments of God regarding the sin that is running rampant in all of our institutions.
Wait. That's an interesting one. Okay, right. This picture, stop pushing your beliefs on me. If a guy comes up to me and hands me a Bible, I'm going to say, no, thank you. And I'm going to mind my own business. If somebody comes up to me and I say I wasn't interested in going and seeing some pride or gay event, and they're like, hey, we're doing this whole thing, I would be like, oh, okay, that's cool. Nah, no thanks. I mean, me personally, I'd be like, woo! But, like, just mind your own business. If it's not something that you want to engage with, just mind your own business. Like, but I see way more, like, people shrieking on the corner about, like, judgment day is upon you and spreading hate than somebody just yelling at poor persecutors. It's so dumb. You saw this meme on a Jimmy Dore video? Yeah, well, Jimmy Dore is an idiot. Jimmy Dore has completely gone mask off at this point. Jeez.
Sin that is running rampant in all of our institutions, but they carefully conceal their faith like it's something to be ashamed of. 40-some years ago, I was asked a question that I have never forgotten.
Okay.
If you were accused of being a Christian, would there be enough evidence to convict you? Well, nowadays there would be. But many times in the past, I kept my mouth shut to avoid being ridiculed and ostracized by friends, neighbors.
Just keep your faith to yourself. Pretend that your religion is your penis. Is it appropriate to whip out your penis in public? No. Is there anything wrong with your penis? No. It's your penis. You have your penis. Everybody can accept that you have your penis. Nobody has to see it. You don't have to tell everybody about it. But if you're in a private situation with consenting adults that are interested in your penis, you can show them your penis. Your religion should not be on any more public of a level than your penis. That's it. That's all you have to do.
And my employers. The Bible verse that challenged me out of hiding was Mark 8:38, where Jesus said, "If anyone is ashamed of me and my words in this sinful and adulterous generation, the Son of Man will be ashamed of them when he comes in his Father's glory with the holy angels."
Boring, larpy, stupid, boring, whatever, boring. It only matters if you have this faith. If you don't have this faith, then you don't believe that there's a judgment day coming. And if you think that there's a judgment day coming, keep it to yourself. That's part of your penis. Don't whip out your penis. Don't tell me about your penis. Don't tell me if I don't see your penis, I'm going to burn forever in a lake of fire. I don't appreciate that. I think that's rude.
Jesus is coming back. The clock is ticking, and you have been placed here by God to be his ambassador to a world in darkness, a world that is at war with God. And
are ideological beliefs really on tier of private parts? Like, that doesn't sound appropriate. There's a difference between having a system of faith by which you are going to be judging everyone that is very, very personal and individualized, and just like an ideological belief like everybody should have health care. It's not the same thing. It is definitely not the same fucking thing.
War is heating up to the point where open persecution of Christians is on the horizon. Will you stand as a bold representative of Jesus Christ, proclaiming first and foremost the message of the cross? Or will you fold and try to stay off the front lines.
See, it's just, this is more cloaked like anti-free speech rhetoric. And I really mean that. I really mean that. Because the thing is, Bill wants to be able to say, you are sinful and you're going to hell. He wants the freedom to say that. But he doesn't want the freedom for people to respond and tell them that they think he's wrong. And to basically give them a piece of their mind. He doesn't like that. He doesn't want that. That's what all of this is always about. Like, you can break this stuff down super, super easy. And it's usually this type of, like, content creator that is cloaking what they're really talking about. And I'm sure Bill talks about freedom of speech all the time, but will never actually analyze it further than that. Which is why he's trying to make this case that, like, Christianity is going to be illegalized and blah, 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 blah. Anyway, that was the second video. I'm not going to watch any more of it because it's dumb. This one is happy to be hated. Now, this I'm very curious about because he just got done talking about how everybody's persecuted and everybody... So how are you happy to be hated, Bill?
I am absolutely hated by the liberal left. I hear from them almost every day, and I wear that as a badge of honor.
Yeah, because you have a weird, gross relationship with it? Yeah, sure.
If you're a Christian man or woman and you faithfully follow Jesus Christ, you will be hated.
No.
In Matthew 10:22,
It's only if you're a jerk. It's about behavior. It's not about belief. It's about behavior.
Jesus said, "All men will hate you because of me, but he who stands firm to the end will be saved." Here are 8 reasons why the left hate me.
Oh.
1, I believe in speaking truth at all times and on every topic.
There's nothing wrong with that, but you don't always have to say literally everything that you think of. Like, you can hold whatever opinions you want, but if you say something that makes people mad and then people reply, that's just an exchange. That's like how communication works.
And truth is whatever God says in his word, the Bible. Number 2, I believe that children should be protected from sexual perverts.
Yeah, everybody does. Everybody does.
I'm flabbergasted that anyone would get angry at that statement. That anger that children might be protected is clear evidence of the moral depravity of the left.
The left wants to protect children too. Part of that is also from indoctrination. Never mind.
Number 3, I believe that all babies are a gift from God, and every one of them deserves to have a birthday. Every baby has the right to grow up, ride a bike, have a puppy that they love and love.
Get free health care. Always have a place to live and shelter. Food. Are you for school lunches, Bill?
Them back. They have the right to mature and fall in love and eventually know the joy of having their own.
What about leftists who defend pedos as misunderstood maps? If that exists, that is so randomly tiny, insignificant amount of people. And if you think it is more than an insignificant amount of people, you're watching a bunch of scumbag grifter pieces of shit from the right who are trying to fill your head full of a bunch of nonsense bullshit. And I would thank you to stop trying to derail my threads with a bunch of dumb shit. Thanks. Appreciate that. Back to Bill.
Child. When a baby is aborted, it takes away their life and everything they will ever have in this world. Number 4, I believe that sex is a gift from God and is specifically and exclusively for the bonding of a man and woman.
Okay, that's none of your business what other people do as long as it's through legal consenting means. But also, when you come, Bill, do you moan, thank you, God, every time you bust a nut? Like, it's kind of weird. Like, it's weird.
Joined together for life in holy matrimony. Anything else is sin. 5, I believe in God's command to love God and to love my neighbor as myself. Well, I'm still working on that one.
Yeah, you hate people that have a different opinion than you, that have a different sexual orientation than you. Like, this whole idea, one of the most central tenets of Christianity is to love thy neighbor, to be forgiving, to have charity. Like, these are the things that actually matter in the teachings of Christ, and Bill does not follow any of them. He takes all of the reasons to be hateful and says, that's what Christianity is about. Like, it's so judgy.
Number 6, I believe that anyone who demonstrates low moral standards should be blocked from serving in public office or teaching our children. 7, I believe...
Yeah, but you have to define what low moral standards are, you know? Like, that would be most politicians that are like right now. That would definitely include Trump. You know, like, it's very strange.
I believe that it is a good and honorable thing for us to work to make America a great nation. And 8, I believe success or lack thereof is primarily determined by one's work ethic.
Okay, that's dumb, first of all, and naive, and everybody knows it. But also, why is it that Jesus, who was Middle Eastern, and God, who I would assume doesn't have any nationality because it existed before there were nations, and land, like, why would they be concerned with America? Now, if this is just the reasons why he's hated, okay, fine. You got this fetishism about fucking America and shit like that. Okay, fine. Whatever. Fine. But it's very strange to justify it through, like, your faith. It's weird.
And those who earn an honest profit are entitled to keep it and spend it however they see fit. Now, for some reason, these 8 simple principles of moral and ethical decency enrage those on the left. I once quipped that speaking the truth to liberals is like throwing holy water on vampires. They hiss and shriek and curse. And there might be more truth to that than we realize. But it's not vampires that we are angering. It is demons, fallen angels that are dominating and controlling men and women foolish enough to walk the path of liberalism, progressivism, socialism, Nazism, environmentalism, whatever they choose to call it. It's really Satanism, and it keeps them on the road to hell. And that's why we must continue to speak the message of salvation loud and clear. Because
blah, 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 reasons. This is why I should continue being as obnoxious as I am. All right. Well, we checked in on Bill, so there you go. There's Bill's persecution complex in full display. I'll see you next time, Bill.